Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at the difference between present simple, I live, and present continuous, I'm living. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so today we're looking at present simple, I live, versus present continuous, I am living. The people very often mix these up when they're learning English, but it's very easy to remember the difference between them. We use present simple for permanent or repeated things. Permanent or repeated things. So an example of a permanent thing would be, I live in Prague, because I always live in Prague, it's always true. Or another example, I love chocolate. I always love chocolate. It's a permanent thing. An example of a repeated thing could be, every day I brush my teeth. I wake up in the morning and I brush my teeth. It happens repeatedly every day. Or another example of a repeated thing could be, every year I go to England for Christmas. It's every year, it's repeated. So we use present simple for permanent and repeated things. And just a little note, with the repeated things, it doesn't matter how much time is in between the two repetitions. It can be quite short, like every day I brush my teeth, or it can be very long, like every 4 years we have the Olympics. It's 4 years between, but it's still repeated, so we always use present simple. Alright, so now let's look at when we use present continuous. I am living, I am working. So the form is to be plus ing. We use present continuous for temporary things. Temporary things. So temporary, it can mean right now, because right now is temporary. So I can say, right now, I am talking to you, and you are watching this video. That's what you're doing right now. And right now is temporary. But temporary can also mean a couple of weeks or a couple of months. That can be temporary too. For example, we could say, for these next 3 months, I am living with my grandparents because there's some renovations happening in my house. So just for these 3 months, this temporary time, I am living with my grandparents. So I'm using present continuous, I am living, because it's just for a temporary time. Or another example could be, usually I come to work at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's my repeated habit. I do it every day, so I'm using present simple. But this week we have a special project, so I am coming at 6 o'clock in the morning, just for this week. It's a temporary time just for this week because we have some big project for the big boss. So we use present continuous. I am coming to work at 6 o'clock. And just one more example, guys, so it's super clear. We could say, usually I get to work by train. I take the train every day. But for this week, the train is not working. They're fixing the train track. So this week, I am coming to work by car. It's just a temporary thing just for this week. So remember, guys, that we use present continuous, I am living, I'm doing, I'm using, for temporary things. And temporary can be right now, because right now is temporary, or it can be a bit longer, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. Now, sometimes students ask, well, what's the limit, Jacob? Like, when does temporary stop being temporary? Is it 6 months? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Can I say I'm living in Amsterdam for 3 years for my degree, and then I'm going back to America? Well, I usually tell people it's around 6 months. Anything longer than 6 months, it's quite a long time, it's quite permanent. So if it's 6 months or less, then we can definitely use present continuous for these temporary things. After that, it starts feeling more permanent. Alright guys, and just a last little note on how to use present simple and present continuous in questions. If you're asking someone about their permanent or repeated activities, then of course we use present simple. We can ask questions like, do you like chocolate? Because I'm asking about all the time. Or I can say, do you live in Prague? I'm asking about the permanent situation. And of course, if I'm asking about the temporary situation, then we use present continuous. So if me and Ryan are watching a movie together, that's a temporary situation, just that movie. So I would ask Ryan, hey Ryan, are you enjoying the movie? I'm using present continuous because this movie is just a temporary event. Or another example could be if it's the World Cup of football, that's a temporary event that lasts a few weeks or months, I'm not sure, but it's definitely temporary. So I can ask Ryan, hey Ryan, are you watching the World Cup? And it means I'm asking him about this World Cup, this temporary event. So it also depends on if the thing you're talking about is permanent or if it is temporary, based on if you use present simple or present continuous in your question. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope everything was clear. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to give us a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. And remember, you can download our app to learn hundreds of words and phrases that you probably don't know, but definitely should know. And you can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify for lots of advanced listening practice and little extra tips on how to use everything. And if you would like to download our beautiful leaflet that has little boxes explaining English from start to finish, all of these topics on one leaflet, then you can download that for free at our website. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.